Hello friends, this is Scott. I'm here at my school garden. In today's video, I'm going to show you the simple process of adding bulk material, whether topsoil or compost, to a back-to-Eden garden method with wood chips. First step is you got to rake all the wood chips back, and so I rake in all directions so it's a little bit easier to move, but you don't have to get all of them. The reason you want to rake the wood chips is you do not mix wood chips into the soil. A little bit, not a big deal, but what it'll do is it'll bind up all the nitrogen in the soil, try to break down the wood chips. So we had a couple big black garden soil bags, and this is just topsoil. And the reason I'm adding fertility, using the back-to-Eden method over time, you shouldn't be needing to add much organic matter. Layers of wood chips will break down over time, adding that organic matter. So here's just a look at the different color, adding a little bit of the topsoil on top. Again, the wood chips are pulled back. I'm just going to layer the entire top with soil. Again, this is a no-dig method, other than digging where you're going to plant your plants. So here I raked out, a few inches of topsoil to add to this bed. And right now I just barely started this back-to-Eden method, so there's not enough wood chips on here. I need to add a lot more in the future, but this is how you just add bulk material at the beginning. So I'm going to choose to plant tomatoes today, a simple process. And I'm not going to get into the tomato planting process today, but very simple. But I just want to show you, when you dig a hole, you mix in your compost that you added on top, and then you just smooth it over, and you've mixed some of that topsoil into the regular soil, and you're done at that point with the planting process. Here's the whole bed planted, and again, it's not fancy. You see I did mix the soil in, so you see different color from layers of soil. And the most important thing you do before you add the wood chips back is you got to water. And so I'm going to water this in really thoroughly. Now, tomatoes don't like a lot of overhead water, but it's kind of unavoidable when you're first planting them. But again, just going to get it nice and wet. Why do I do that? Because wood chips are, they suppress weeds. They retain moisture, but if there's not good moisture under the soil when you put them on, it's hard to get the moisture through the wood chips to the garden bed. So I'm adding my infrastructure, which is some of these crappy tomato cages that we had at the school. I'm going to add plant stakes because the ground was still too solid to push those in very far. So I'm going to just pound in wood stakes for the tomatoes just to hold the cages up. Then I start just kicking the wood chips or raking the wood chips back over the bed. Again, I want 4 to 6 inches of wood chips, and I don't have that here yet. So I need to go find some wood chips once I have the garden planted, and I'll be mulching the entire garden with a whole new layers of wood chips. So here's how it looks when it's all mulched in. And again, watering before you mulch is important, and watering after. You don't want the wood chips as if they're dry, you don't want them to wick water from the plants also. So just water it in, and you're ready to go. And that should retain moisture, suppress weeds, and the wood chips will add fertility over time. So it's a very simple process. Wood chips are a little bit of work, but they definitely cut down the weeding. But that's after many years of adding wood chips and adding wood chips. And over time, the weed seeds in the soil will become less and less, and you'll have less of a weeding problem. But you always have to add wood chips. Well, thanks for watching. That's as easy as it is.